Happy Monday, everyone. We're back at it. I'm trying to think of things that I should do that would be more interesting to start these videos. I had some of my kids on here once in a while to say hi. Do you have should I sing a song or should I just get started? You can send me an email and tell me what you think I should do. I have not felt very creative to come up with new songs during this time. I know I probably should, but just inspiration has not yet struck in that way. So if you got any ideas for me, I don't really, I don't know. I got nothing. So we're going to get to this. This is going to be a shorter video. We're going to talk about lesson 5.5 today. More exponential functions. The key point today is understanding some terminology. So exponential functions, we've been talking about factors, okay? But a lot of times exponential change can be described in terms of rates, percentages. So I want to make that connection. The rubric says that you need to be able to go back and forth between factors and rates for any given exponential function. So when I give you this function here, you should be able to tell me what the decay factor is and what the decay rate is, and understand it from both perspectives using both words, basically. So obviously this is a decay function. We know that because this decay factor is less than 1. So we already know that. The decay factor is 0.75, right? You already knew that. You want to come say hi?
Hi.
Anything to add? We're in the middle of a video. You want to listen? All right, take a seat. So we already knew the decay factor, 0.75. The decay rate now simply is, I'm just going to write down what the decay rate is. It's 0.25. Basically, you're looking at the difference you are away from 1, telling you what that rate is. Okay, let me pause here a second and point you to the textbook. If you haven't read this, read it. Page 294. There's a blue box here that describes all of this in terms of how to calculate rate from growth factor and vice versa. So if you need more like formal explanation, there it is. But basically all I did to get this 0.25 was I took 1 minus 0.75. And the decay rate, typically, we're going to write it as a percentage. Okay, so what is 0.25 as a percent? 25%. So you're going to typically see it in this form. Okay, but you can have it either way, just as long as you're careful with percentage labels or decimals. Now let's look at a growth function. Here's a growth function. We know that because, again, the growth factor is larger than 1. So growth factor, we already knew that was 1.2. But what is the growth rate? So again, we're going to think of this difference from 1 idea. Well, this is 0.2 larger than 1. So the growth rate in this case is 0.2, which as a decimal would be 20%. All right. So make sure, what was I going to say there? Oh, I was going to say this. These numbers in and of themselves, you cannot tell if it's a decay or growth just by looking at the rates. They have to say the word decay rate or growth rate in order for you to know what these were. With the factors, we just knew them outright that because this is bigger than 1, we know it's growth. They don't have to put growth in front of that. So just keep that in mind. Real quick, a couple of example problems. So maybe you want to pause the video here and see if you can find the corresponding rate or the corresponding factor that goes with each one of these. So the G just stands for growth. The D stands for decay. Right? So if you want to pause here before I go through answers, then you'll have a chance to check yourself, see if you're doing it correctly. Did you pause it yet? All right. Here he is. Growth factor, 1.22. The rate would be 0.22, which is the same as 22%. Here, the growth rate is 6.7%. That means the factor is going to be 1.067. Here we have a decay factor, 0.972. Well, what is the difference with that from 1? 0.028. Again, I'm getting that from 1 minus 0.972. 0.028, which as a decimal, or sorry, as a percent, 2.8%. Again, we need to know that that's a decay for that to make complete sense. Here, decay of 12.3%, so I have to take that away from 1. Okay, we're going to test your subtraction skills here. What are we at? 87.7. Drew, did I get that right? 100 minus 12.3. 87.7. Okay, so there you have it. That's all I'm going to show you today. That's pretty much the extent of the lesson. They do have you do some word problems and things like that, but hopefully based on what we've done before, you'll be able to figure that out. So keep working hard, everyone, and we'll look for your homework to be sent via email. See ya.